Talk Business and Politics and Hendrix College polled just over 1,200 likely voters in Arkansas earlier this month. We are going to reveal the results of the polls with Roby Brock this week on KARK 4 News, looking at statewide elections and a congressional race. But right now, the first poll we'll discuss is the president's approval rating. Roby Brock joins us now. Roby, thanks for coming on KARK 4 News at 4.
Hey, you know, I'm an early riser today, aren't I? So
yeah.
It's not a late night for me.
I like it. Well, let's talk a little bit about those 3 questions that you asked about President Trump's approval ratings. What are the results there? So
we wanted to see if there was any kind of discrepancy on a couple of key issues. So we asked an overall, do you approve or disapprove of the job that President Trump is doing? And then we asked a question about how he's handling the economy and how he's handling the Iran war. And there were pretty consistent results all the way across. We'll run through some of them if we want to. So his overall job approval rating, 46% approve of the president, 53% disapprove. Those are way upside down numbers for Donald Trump in Arkansas. On the issue of handling the economy, 44.5% I believe approve, 55% disapprove. And then you get to the war in Iran, and it's a 42% approve and a 56.5% disapprove. And I will note that the disapproval numbers, there was like 90-something% of those disapproval numbers were strongly disapprove. We let people somewhat and strongly approve or disapprove, and these were very, very, very harsh opinions on the disapproval side. Okay, now that we have those disapproval ratings, does that play any role, and what role does it play in how Republican nominees may do in this upcoming election? Yeah, and we're seeing this nationally. So when you look at what's happening nationally and how President Trump, who is the GOP brand across the country, you've seen him play in primaries, but not so well in some of the general elections that we've seen. He's the brand of the GOP, so how he goes is going to somewhat dictate how the fortunes of GOP or Republican candidates are going to do. And I can tell you the results that we're going to roll out over the course of this week, those negative numbers for Donald Trump play a major factor in some of these, particularly the Senate race and the congressional race that we're going to talk about on Wednesday and Thursday. And you just see where the largest part of the population that's moving on President Trump, that's been in his corner and been in the Republican corner for like 10 years, are independent voters. And independent voters, by about 70% plus, are shifting away from Donald Trump in this poll. And therefore they're shifting away from Republicans when you look at some of the other results. That is making these races look a lot different than what we've seen over the last decade. And it is a lot different for them to shift in the other direction. So we could see that play out. I know you'll have some more polls to release the rest of the week. I caution, this is a snapshot in time. This is a baseline poll. We're still, 90-ish days from the election. There's still a lot of time for people to spend a lot of money to influence the outcome of the election. We just got to set a baseline somewhere for where are we today, and this is where we are today. Still a few months out. Who did you poll? Kind of the methodology behind those? So we, our best case now to get people to respond is through text messaging, believe it or not. And so these were random samples from the voter registration rolls all over the state. You had to answer initially that you were likely to vote in this next election, either somewhat likely or very likely. 96% are very likely. So these are people from all over the state. It's a sample of over 1,200, as you mentioned. That is a really, really big sample for a statewide sample. 600 is good. We more than doubled that. So this is a pretty representative of the population of Arkansas that votes. All right, Roby Brock, we'll see you at 5 o'clock, all right?